Right.
Hi there, Neil Clark here from Falkirk Piping, www.falkirkpiping.com. Welcome to the channel. Videos contained here are designed as aid memoirs for my pupils, although they're free for anyone to use. If you're benefiting from the videos, please subscribe to the channel. This is completely free to do. May I also ask that you consider supporting my chosen charity, Parkinson's UK, by donating to my Just Giving page. The link to that page may be found in the comments box below this video. Today is Wednesday, the 13th of October 2021, and we're on day 74 of the Piping 100 Challenge. Today we're in Bannockburn House with special permission from the people involved, and we're really grateful for that. I'm not going to say much about Bannockburn House because we've got Robert, who made all these flags that you're going to see more of later on, is going to tell you more about Bannockburn House. What I am going to draw your attention to is Bannockburn House and the flags of the 45 have a website, and I would like you to go to the comments box and have a look at them. That'll tell you a little bit more about the history of the house and the history of the flags themselves. So, I think, there's 2,000 volunteers in Bannockburn House. That's crazy. About 400 regular volunteers, and the place is absolutely moving just now. There's people doing stuff all around us as we're making this. Anyway, enough from me. Robert will tell you more about the place later on. To the tunes. Robert asked for 100 pipers. Come to that last. First one is Banks of Loch Lomond, which was an older tune but had words put to it by those of a Jacobite tendency. But all these tunes, all the words were put to the tunes after the 45. None of these are actually from the 45. So we have the Banks of Loch Lomond. Then we have one called the Bluebells of Scotland. The words to that are "Where oh where has my Highland laddie gone?" A bit of an interesting author to that, because the author to that was the mistress of King William IV of England, second of Scotland. It's important to get these numbers right, including Queen Elizabeth I. Anyway, she was the mistress of Queen William IV, who was the uncle of Queen Victoria and her predecessor on the throne. The number three, is Wha Will Ride with Gallant Murray, or the Atholl Gathering. So that's enough said about that. That's more related towards George Murray of the 45 and the commander of the Jacobite armies. Lastly, we have the 100 Pipers, which was written by Lady Nairne, who actually compiled quite a few Jacobite songs, again after the 1745 rebellion, but not too far after the 1745 rebellion, certainly still in memory, living memory. So we'll play the tunes for you. Robert will then give you a little bit of history about the house, and what we're going to do is paste together a collection of the flags, and we'll put some music on the background for you. So hope you enjoy. We'll be back in the house tomorrow. See you tomorrow.
Road Jacobite mansion, which was commissioned in 1675 by Sir Hugh Patterson, who was signet to the Crown in Edinburgh. The house has been changed during this time, in the Victorian times, when Colonel Wilson of the Weaving and the Tartan dynasty bought the house and began making improvements. We added the Victorian wing, so it's now like an L shape. It used to be an H block shape Jacobite mansion, it's now an L shape. And moving on into the history of the house, we have 2 or 3 special people, historical figures. Sir Hugh Patterson was a Jacobite, a sympathiser, and he was involved in the Battle of Sheriff Muir with his brother-in-law, the Earl of Mar. That battle was inconclusive, it was a draw, and when the Jacobites had to retreat, James went into exile, King James. Sir Hugh Patterson was into exile with him to Holland, and his lands were forfeited to the Crown. He was later pardoned, so he came back, and in 1746 he gave the house over to Charles Edward Stuart. The Prince took over the house in January for a month, and it's here that they planned the Battle of Falkirk and the siege of Stirling Castle. And after the battle, he was hospitalised here for about a month and looked after by Lady Clementina Walkinshaw, who was the niece of Sir Hugh Patterson. So here the battle was planned. The map on the back wall shows you the plan of what and how they were going to execute the battle. Lord George Murray was the Prince's chief commander. Both of them decided that instead of fighting the battle at Plain, they would move to Falkirk and take on General Hawley's army at the heights of Falkirk. The battle took place on a wintry night with a snowstorm, and the Jacobites overwhelmed the dragoons of General Hawley, and the army was dispersed, and they were moved right back to the River Avon. That's where General Hawley stopped and had to recoup until he could get some support from Duke of Cumberland. So the Jacobites were in control of Falkirk. They won the battle. They were in control of Falkirk for about a whole month. The Prince then retired to Bannockburn House, where he was recuperating from a severe case of influenza, and he was hospitalised and looked after by Lady Clementina Walkinshaw. The Jacobite Army High Command, who were here in Bannockburn House, knew that the British Army were going to relieve Hawley and send in fresh troops from the Duke of Cumberland. So then they had to start to think about a retreat. So they began retreating on about this January the 29th and the 31st, moving back over the Ford of Frew, out with the cannons of Stirling Castle. They made a steady retreat, but during the retreat, the Jacobite gunpowder arsenal at St Ninian's Parish Church was accidentally blown up. That caused a bit of confusion, and then the retreat turned into a bit of a rout, with the Jacobites getting over the Forth as quick as possible. The most significant owner was Colonel Wilson, the tartan weaver, who had mills in Bannockburn and supplied the tartan to the British Army. And when the tartan regalia started for the George IV and Sir Walter Scott, they were best placed to get tartan to the people who everybody wanted a tartan for their families. So they made lots of money because that was the boom of the tartan industry. in 2017, the people of Bannockburn came to the property and asked to see around, so they put forward a bid from Bannockburn Community Trust, and it's successful with money from the Scottish Government and HES and the National Trust and other charities. We managed to buy the property for and on behalf of the community. So they now own the property. It's open to the public for weddings, conferences, any small sort of gatherings where you think we can give you an opportunity to use the grounds. The gardening team are busily making the gardens presentable, and we just hope that people in the surrounding area, Stirling and the Forth Valley, will support our endeavours in this house.